Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Orioles finally got swept. It happened. Braves are back? Question mark? It's Memorial Day, people. It's Memorial Day. Phillies are nasty. Royals are nasty.
Submarine pitcher. Ground ball, shortstop, no play.
Damn it. Oneil Cruz is hitting baseball. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. A happy Memorial Day to you and yours. Maybe this can get you through a drive this weekend. Maybe you're on the beach for the first time.
Ooh.
Just listening to some yucking ball with the boys, and one of those boys is Trevor Plouffe out in Calabasas, California. Just go up to the gate, say, I know Coach Trev.
You know what they'll say to you? Sorry. It's hard to get in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes, look, Memorial Day. One of my favorite holidays, number one, because I do love this country and I do love the troops, and I understand the sacrifices that make this the best country in the world. It's also the unofficial beginning of summer, I would say, for most people. Not in Los Angeles right now. It's been gloomy for like literally 3 weeks straight. It's the weirdest thing. But I'm excited for a good weekend. I got a lot of youth baseball. Teddy's got a big tournament, and he's very, very excited about it. And I want to tell him, bro, you're 8 years old. None of this means anything, but I'm not going to say
it. It means everything.
To him right now, it does.
It means everything.
We had a great little session in the backyard last night. It was awesome.
I mean, Trev, those Little League stories, if I was meeting up with some of my buddies this weekend, we'd be talking about how our buddy, a different Jim, great pitcher, his family had a trip to France, which I'm dressed like a Frenchman today.
You are.
He missed the championship game. They lost. We remember that gets talked about an odd amount. That's Little League ball.
I agree. Actually, now that I think about it, I have stories like that as well. But I meant more for the parents. Like, don't make it mean too much. Like, just relax, okay? Sidebar, real quick.
Yeah.
Pop. Your hair, last two eps, has been crushing it. So whatever you are doing now, like, bottle that up, because you don't always have this.
No. This is a little bit of an optical illusion. In person, last ep's hair, yes. Fuego.
Okay.
And we'll get to that part of the episode. Jake's hair and Fuego. Today, it's not great. It's videoing a little better.
Okay.
And I think the shirt is so much of a distraction that the hair plays with it. I can't believe it's gloomy out west. Memorial Day out east is a funny one, because if you get a sunny Memorial Day, which we're getting, the Northeast loses their mind. Like, summer's
it's time
here.
to go.
We've been caged. Let's go.
You're going to Gurney's, all right? Everyone's going to Gurney's in the Hamptons and Montauk.
We did our post-college house in beautiful Milford, Connecticut. And I have a Milford connection in a second. Like, the boys we're 24. We just got a house together. It's a new town. There's new bars. There's new people to meet. Memorial Day, 40s and raining. It was awful. Like, we set up like a pop-up tent in our backyard, and it was a bad time. It's just a straight-up bad time. But it was the best of times, because that's also what you need to be doing. So hope everyone has a fun weekend. There was some awesome ball played this week. You mentioned Giants-Pirates. What the hell was that? A lot of good action in the National League, and that's where we start on Fridays. Trev, I mentioned there is a Milford connection. Know who's a big Milford guy?
I don't.
Dan Patrick. Patrick. They're set up in Milford, Connecticut now, and we are now partners.
Where is Milford?
Milford, it's on the beautiful Connecticut shoreline.
That's
if you
nice.
leave the city, you go past, your Greenwich, BBD, Stamford, you get your way to Milford, Connecticut. And Dan Patrick Show, we're partnered with them now, with them and iHeart Podcasts, iHeart Media. Wake and Jake with me and Beebs, that is now with the Dan Patrick Show, and Jimmy's Three Things that you see with Talkin' Baseball. And we didn't know, like, we got a boost from them. Dan Patrick, that name travels. So that's been huge for us and huge for them because they're linked with us as well. So go check out those shows or Dan Patrick. We appreciate them. They appreciate us, and that's life.
If you shout out Dan Patrick, big fan, obviously. If you would have said, "Hey, Trev, does Connecticut have a coastline?" I'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
That East Coast, the Northeast coast.
Yeah.
It's just a jumble of you guys. Who divided the state lines there? Like, who decided where that was going to happen? Because I'm looking at it right now and I still don't understand it. Whatever.
They're literally like pilgrims. People from like 400 years ago that like didn't think well.
And we
have Washington, Oregon, California. That's it.
Honestly, if you're someone grinding through the workday today, appreciate you. Go like look at old maps of the U.S. when it was like Louisiana is the whole left of the country.
Oh, do you know what that was called, Jake? Come on, you got
Louisiana Purchase? Like, what are we talking about? Okay. I think we're better about talking National League Baseball than that. So let's do that a little bit. The Chicago Cubbies and the Atlanta Braves teed it up for 3 at beautiful Wrigley Field. And the Cubbies, Miso Horner, he hits the walk-off in Game 1. The Braves kind of, I don't want to say they won that game because credit to the Cubs bullpen, 5.1 scoreless, but the Braves couldn't get the hit. 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Yikes. But they brought that the remaining game. 6-run 7. Started off by Zach Short. Okay, compound. Sure, there was an Ozuna 3-run homer, but Zach Short's RBI single. Braves get it done in that one with Max Fried leading the way. His second complete game of the season. How paid is he about to get? Oh, God. I don't know if he even knows what to do with that kind of money. Braves, they get the sweep. Kyle Hendricks kicked to the bullpen in Cubbyland. Yo. Know who's not in the bullpen anymore? Ranger Suarez. And he and Shota are going toe-to-toe. Is it just a good time to be kind of like is Ranger short? Is it him and Shota? Is it a good time to be like a short lefty?
I think he's sneaky tall. I think he's like 6 foot.
Really? We'll
play
look.
Shorter, though.
Phillies. You don't care because he gives you 7 innings, 1 earned run, 10 Ks. You know all the Phillies offense, except Edmundo Sosa, who gives them a couple big games in this series, and Pache in the final
6'1"
game.
Ranger Suarez. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Plays shorter. He does. 5'10", he plays like
Ranger Suarez does play shorter. But the team does not. They sweep the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers record not looking so pretty right now, says the Italian. Phillies continue to roll. Dodgers, they take Game 1 against the Snakes. Yoshinobu Yamamoto does it again. The Dodgers, they're on a win streak, 4 games. They're going to keep... Oh, the Snakes rally. Brandon Pfaadt with a decent start. Young Jock, boing, he homers against his former mates. Do people even remember Jock Peterson, the Dodger? I do.
Of course.
Christian Walker and Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte, 20-game hit streak. That guy doesn't stop. 21 after he gets it done in the final game. Dodgers, the back end of that lineup again as the Snakes win the series. The Baltimore Orioles have never been swept with Adley Rutschman. That is over. And
in the regular season.
And who did it? Your St. Louis Cardinals, obviously. Sonny Gray, Sir Lance Lynn a lot. He goes 6 innings, 0 earned runs. And Gibby, it's only 4 innings and 0 earned with 3 runs. What's going on, Cardinals defense? They don't care. They're winning ball games. Michael Ciani. Okay, tell me more about this guy. He's playing some center field for them in a 4 RBI day. Orioles get swept. St. Louis does the sweeping. We'll talk more about that later on. Chaos in Pittsburgh. In the first game, The Pirates are down 6-2 entering the ninth. They come back with a couple RBI hits, and they walk it off. Nick Gonzalez in the 10th. Sure. Game 2, Los Hibido Gigantes. Pirates scored 5 in the 4th to go up 5-0. The Giants come back, and then they put up a big number in extras after Chapman throws 12 straight balls. That's a bad time. But then Joey Bart, redemption, grand slam against his former team. It's Paul Skeens Day. The Pirates are riding high, but they're not holding on. They blow it. And Matt Chapman, the Bay Area fans, they're posting apologies to Matty Chapman. They come back and win 2 out of 3. Chaos in Pittsburgh. I told you this NL was snacked. Your Twins take 2 out of 3 from the Nats. Some tough graphics online about Joey Gallo and Luis Arraez if you want to look those up. Buck Daddy's back. 2-homer game, Trev. Joe Ryan, that picture of you and him getting out of the lake, getting posted a lot. I don't think you or him mind, if I'm being honest. Twins, I guess they handle their business on getaway day. Kepler and Correa, homer. Padres, I mentioned them. Luis Arraez cannot stop hitting. That's kind of what he's known for, but he's got a little bit of Padres juice. Reds won that first game, and then they lose the next 2, including an extras to San Diego. Tatis with the hit. Waldron keeps striking people out. More knucklers. Had an inappropriate joke. Hard pass for now. Reds keep getting hit and losing players. And then the Marlins. They took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers. You can't predict baseball, Susan. How about baby Jesus Luzardo with 8-inning shut piece, and Jazz with the only run in that final game? A Josh Bell walk-off. Where will he be playing baseball? Brewers, I don't think they care for now. That's what happened in a juicy National League. I wish I could go somewhere to get some standings.
What were we going to say about Knuckles? Just relax.
It was bad. There's a reason I pulled back.
I'm happy you did, Pop. I got the standings. You want them?
I got them.
You need them. All right, we'll start in the NL East because it's Friday. That's what we do. The Phillies. But they only play bad teams. They're 37-14. People, what do you want them to do? I don't know if we're going to talk a lot about that series, but Bryce Harper, that homer he hit, and like the cameraman like panning out and the skyline of Philly and like the sunset. It was beautiful. There's 37-14. Like I mentioned, Atlanta, 6 freaking games behind them. They're 29-18, though. They're doing their thing. 21-27, the 3rd place Washington Nationals in this East. The Mets 21-28, and Miami 17-34 after taking 2 of 3 from the Brew Crew. Speaking of the Brew Crew, they're in first place. Jake, did you know that?
Yeah.
In the Central, they're 28-21, 2 games ahead of those Cubs. Who are the Cubs? That's what I want to know. They're 27-24, 2 games back. St. Louis, they are sweeping. St. Louis fans are all in my mentions. We're back. We're
really?
Back. 23-20. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I picked you guys to win the NL Central. I've had your back. I'm best friends with Kyle Gibson just because I think Ollie Marmol is like a psycho a little bit. Oh, wait. Actually, I'm on his side. I forgot about that. They're 23-26. Pittsburgh 23-28. And the Reds, man, talk about disappointing. 20-30, 8.5 games back right now. In the West, the Dodgers, they lost 2 out of 3. They're still 33-19, 6.5 games up on the Padres, who are over 500 at 27-26. The Giants making moves, 25-26. Arizona making moves. They're at 24-26. And the Rockies, your Rocks. That was weird. 16-33, and that's the standings in the National League.
Sometimes snakes hang out under rocks.
Jake, snakes, your Rocks. You have so many teams, Pop.
I know. There's some people that love that shtick, and there's other people that just don't get it.
They're just,
They're just like,
how could you do that?
How can you like the Reds? How can you like the Reds, Rockies, and the Snakes?
We need to hire someone that is like, the stereotype Yankees, Lakers,
okay,
Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah.
And I just want to pick their brain because they're wearing jean shorts for sure.
Shout out Joe's McFly.
Got some people that are close.
I think jean shorts are in now. Like, I don't want them to be in, but like these fashion companies are cut off jean shorts are in. Weird.
Man, if a hot boy like gets a nice pair of jean shorts, sometimes it plays. It's like kind of European.
Yeah, I went shopping with Eddie Julian and Kyle Farmer, and Julian was looking at some clothes. I'm like, I don't even you, bud. You're a big leaguer, like this French Canadian stud. I don't know if you could pull all this stuff off.
Like Eddie Julian, he's got the Canadian card. He can pull that off. Kyle Farmer can't be touching the jorts.
See, I'm like actually on the opposite side of that because Kyle Farmer's just a redneck.
Right, but then it's like real. Like you can't be wearing fashionable.
They're not
jorts.
fashionable.
Yes. Speaking of fashionable, the Phillies almost haven't been fashionable this year, and I do think this is kind of high and tight. Sorry, Rangers fans. Well, unless it's Ranger Suarez fans, because he, along with Shota, have been probably the two best pitchers in the National League. And yeah, dude, it feels like the Phillies are last year's Braves. Like, it's almost boring to talk about because Zach Wheeler, 7 innings, 2. Ranger, dealing. Bryce Harper, homer. Alec Boehm, bunch of RBIs. We try not to get bored with the big teams. If before the season, if we said there's a recap app where Philly sweeps Texas, we'd be like, wow, we got to hammer that home. Both these teams kind of played to what they've been playing.
I'm doing schedule watch because people are so concerned with who they're playing. I mean, Jake, do you know where they go next?
Where's that?
Colorado.
Oh. Honestly,
if they don't sweep this series, people are gonna lose their mind.
Lose the series.
They should lose the series. They go to Colorado and then they go to the Giants. Both those teams are under 500. Then they have St. Louis at home. They're under 500. I don't know when. Like, look, they're taking care of business, people. Like, that's all I care about. The winning percentage is there. They're 6 games up on the Braves. Eventually, they're gonna have to play all these teams. And guess what? Like, this is a good baseball team.
Great.
Like, let's just stop with all this shit. Okay, it is a great baseball team. But yeah, they what are they? Got 6 in a row now? 6 in a row, and they have, just going back to the Monday the 13th, I'm looking at 9 out of the last 10. I mean, some of the numbers you're putting out there are crazy. I think it's like 22 out of 26 or something like that. Like, they are winning at a historic clip right now. Like, on pace or even ahead of pace of the 2001 Mariners. Is that what it was?
Your 2000.
Is that the right year?
Yeah.
Rob Thompson had some quotes about that. He's saying, we don't care. We're going to stick and grind. You know what he said? And what did they do?
Nice.
And the reporter's like, oh, they won 116 games. He goes, and then what? So he got a little bit of, like, adolescent with the
we're chasing
with the
rings,
reporter.
bro.
But that's what it is. And I talked about this a little bit on Baseball Today. It's like, these guys have been to the World Series and lost.
Yes.
Once, and talk to anybody that's done that. Once you approach, like, the CSs and the World Series, once you get there, that's all you have the taste for. It's like when like on an African safari and these lions finally eat a human, and all of a sudden that's all they got a taste for.
Taste for
I don't want to. Hyenas suck.
Yeah.
I'm over hyena. Gazelles, give me human. That's what this is like.
My dog Noodle, it was a family secret for a while, but there's a dead bird in Central Park, and he got it in his mouth. And I was like, I got to get this bird out of his mouth. And in the process, he's still young enough and feisty enough that he knew he just got, like, the golden goose, figuratively. So I'm really wrestling to get this bird out of his mouth. And one of his teeth catches me, and there's a little bit of blood. And I was like, okay, do I have to get, like, tested and stuff? I don't know.
There was a bird.
You probably not.
I mean,
other people may.
Yes. And then I don't know. That night, me and Noodle were staring at each other. I was wondering if he kind of had the taste for me. Okay, enough about me. Where are you at concern-wise with the Rangers? Lost 4 straight, and they've lost 10 out of 12.
I mean, look, we can talk about all the people coming back in the pitching staff. I mean, Corey Seager's got to get it going. Like there, a lot of people who performed well for the Rangers last year, aren't doing that this year. Evan Carter, not, he's not a world beater like he was the last month and a half of the season and into the playoffs. Corey Seager, anytime he was on the baseball field last year, he's the best player by far.
Right.
It felt like he was hitting a home run every single game. He's not doing that. You can talk about the pitching staff and guys they're hoping to get back. The bullpen has been crap, except for who was it, Yates and Robertson. Like it's like they I think there's better days coming for the Rangers. Like I think we're going to see some of that positive regression. But I mean that's it, man. There's been some underperformances. There's been some. I mean, Jace Jung is out. Is it Jace or Josh? Did I just mess up?
This one's Josh.
Jace.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you're okay.
My bad. Josh Jung's been out, and he's the guy that they lean on. And White Langford wasn't the guy that everyone thought he was going to be. I mean, I was convinced on him, and he hasn't performed. So it's like it's one of those things, man. Like it's weird because I feel like in this baseball season, you can talk about some teams, and you're like, all right, they're done already. And then some teams are like, dude, it's only May 24th.
Yeah,
like there's plenty of baseball left. I think this is one of those teams where like, dude, World Series hangover, underperformances, injuries. It's been kind of a lot of different punches thrown at the Rangers right now. And they're still, what, are they 3 games under 500? Is that what it is?
24 and 27, yeah. Yeah.
I'd be all right if I was a Rangers fan. You'd have to really have perspective on the season, but I'd be like, okay, like we're not 16 and 30 something. Like we're kind of right where we need to be, and you're hoping for some of these performances to step up.
Yeah, there's so many teams in that like looking for their gear territory. I'll lump your Twins in because if you do take out the White Sox stuff, the Red Sox have kind of had a gear, but like the Rays, Rangers, Blue Jays, Detroit, Houston, and then on the NL side, like Cubs, Padres, Giants, DBacks, Cardinals, Pirates, like all these teams are looking for that one really hot streak that can kind of carry you at least until the deadline. And yeah, Texas is in that boat. They do have reinforcements coming. They need a couple guys to either like play above their skis a little bit, and maybe that's Seager, maybe that's Carter kicking into gear. Adolis' stats are starting to get to where he lives. And the Phillies, Jeff Hoffman with his 4th save of the season. Never mind that whole lineup. Let's see, Trevor. Hey, there was one crazy series in baseball this week. And it happened in San Francisco and Pittsburgh, which 2 teams we don't know where their bingo cards are going to land this year. Like we said, if either of these teams reels off a 9-1, they're going to be a big part of this season. 2 extra inning games, which and those 2 probably weren't the craziest games of the series. So I'll let you go because I know you dove into this and you threw on your McCutchen shirt for this episode.
I did. Yeah. I did. Threw on my Cut shirt. He had a leadoff homer for them. But the first game, Oneil Cruz, like kind of Jekyll and Hyde-ish game because he does drop a pop-up. 1st and 3rd, I believe it was. 3 and 2, 2 out. So if people are running, he drops the pop-up. Both runs end up scoring. So that that's it's not what you want, Pop. You don't need to be dropping pop-ups, right? But the Pirates come back. They score 4 in the 9th. Luciano, the shortstop for the Giants, has a chance to end the game. Kutch hits him a ground ball, like a kind of a tailor-made double play. And Kutch, he gets down the line pretty good, but you could turn a double play on him. Zoos it. So that allows Oneil Cruz to tie the game. That's that 120 mile an hour freaking. I mean, did you see that thing? It was hit so hard. I couldn't believe it, how fast it got to that right field wall. a big right field wall in Pittsburgh. It one hopped it, but it was like it looked like a normal person hitting that ball. That's like a 3 or 4 hopper because it wasn't like that high. It was like low, and it just there was so much speed behind it.
Yeah.
Insane. And then Nick Gonzalez with the walk off.
I want to ask Pirates. I want to ask Pirates fans. Oneil, Cruz, like, just where are we at? Straight up, you know. What's the defense feel like day in, day out? The biggest thing when I look at stats, and even when I picture Oneil, Cruz, Trev, this year versus righties, Oneil, Cruz is 308, 362, and 869 OPS. Like, yes, like Oneil, Cruz. Versus lefties this year, 111 batting average, a 143 on base, a 365 OPS. So, I don't know. Like, I've been talking about Jock a lot recently, who early Jock Peterson had a lot of like numbers like this. We've seen Cedric Mullins stop switch hitting at some point. Like, what do you do?
He's just so toolsy.
Yeah.
But it seems like some of like the areas where you refine yourself and become like a superstar, like he's got to figure some of that out. Like he does everything so powerfully. Okay. Like average exit velo, 99th percentile, bat speed, 100th percentile, barrel percentage, great, 98%. But he chases, he swings and misses a lot. He doesn't walk a lot. His range isn't great. His arm is good. Like, it's like those things, like those areas where like, and we talk about this, and I don't think this is him, but like we talk about like showcase baseball. And I've heard, I talked to Blake Snell about that. I don't think he's showcase baseball. I think this is just naturally what he does.
Yes.
But it's like the refinement has to come for him to take that next step.
Yeah, and I think, this has been a topic that's been on your mind, and maybe we episodify it at some point of, fundamentals are out, blah, blah, blah. For this guy, he's one of the guys that can almost be okay for. Because you're talking about...
Not if you want to take the next step, it's not.
Right, and that's the refinement of it. And
what's his OPS at? 720 or something like
723.
that. 723. He had outs above average. He's negative there, and it's like,
for him,
what kind of ball player do you want to be?
For him, it's one of the guys, okay, you made it to the majors and you look like this and we get why. You're right. To get to another level, he's got to do that. And we've kind of seen like Ellie De La Cruz has done that. That's where I wonder, remember there used to be fodder like, hey, this guy's too big. Should we just kick him to the corner outfield? Like I've seen players mentally playing shortstop is a real thing that,
oh my God,
I don't know if you can get more out of this guy offensively. Like, I don't even know if that's on the table in Pittsburgh. So that's where I'm asking their fans, like, give me some Pittsburgh opinions. Cause they have a new freak on the mound that it's like, hey, Sunday, Skeens Day, Joey Bart, redemption, grand slam. And then that all goes away.
Yeah. It's, second game's tough for the Pirates because Reynolds hits the grand slam. 5 unanswered for the Giants after that. My boy Chappie's in the mix. Late night Lamont ties the game, and the Giants score 4 in the 10th to just basically put the game away. And then it was Skeens Day, like you're talking about. And I love this because like, oh, he didn't have his best stuff. He only struck out 3 people, but he went 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Like, what kind of fucking, like, where are we? We need to relax with this guy. Like the expectations that he's done it to himself, but we've put crazy expectations. This guy is a rookie.
I'm in.
How many starts is his 3rd career start, 4th career start? He goes 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and because he doesn't strike out 10, we're like, oh, he's not great. Like, come on, people. This guy's an absolute
freak.
Him to anyway.
The bullpen.
Yeah, kick him to the bullpen. This was the Bart revenge game, which I loved.
Yeah.
The grand slam. Beebs, can you find the video? Can we put the video up?
Oh.
I should have told you before, but he does this like little, he hits it, knows he gets it. And then he gives like a little steer down. Dead center.
Dead center, yeah.
Little like shimmy almost. Like that had to feel so freaking good. That was in the bottom of the 4th. Beebs is working on it. There was 6-2 Pirates in the 8th, and then this is here it is. See the
you like that? You like the lean?
Yeah, because dude, it's against your former team, and he said Susan Slusser, shout out Susan Slusser, probably one of my favorite writers in all of baseball. She talked to him after that. He said, I don't hold any ill will. And she mentions like he never was like that when he was with the Giants either. Like always said the right things. But you know that like it feels good inside. Doesn't matter if you didn't perform with your former team, they let you go and you get a little something like that. That shimmy just gets me so good. So yeah, 6-2 Pirates in the 8th. And then this is what happens, Jake. Single, Chappie home run. Now all of a sudden, it is 6-5. Double, single. So you go single, homer, double, single. And then Chapman comes in. You mentioned all the balls he threw. Pass ball, a wild pitch, gets to run to third. Then Wisely has the go-ahead single, and the Giants win the game.
Matty Chapman.
It's tough for the Pirates.
Tough for the Pirates. Matty Chapman has changed the trajectory of his season. Little 2.2 WAR. 120 OPS
he made
plus.
the end of the game, which was, I believe, so that was game 2 then. He made an incredible play to save the game. It was like a laser down the line. He like knocks it down. And like one of the only people that can make that throw and still get the out is Matt Chapman. Throws the shit out of the ball to first base. Like, so his fingerprints were all over this series.
Matt Chapman looks like he throws a riser to first base.
Oh, it's nasty, bro.
Like it's how when you hear the nerds talk about like, well, you can't throw a fastball that rises because of gravity, and you're like, okay, we get it.
I don't believe that, by the way.
Well,
watch this play. Look at this.
That ball should bounce twice.
Watch this play though. Like, how does this not get down the line?
That ball should bounce twice.
Who knows how he picked it up? Like, is that 4 seams or 2 seams? Doesn't matter with him. Wham! Oh my gosh, dude.
That's silly. I won't be mean to either of these players. Yeah, a couple Yankees third basemen of past and coming back as DJ LeMahieu's about to come back. DJ LeMahieu, great all-around talented baseball player, doesn't have special arm strength. He has a couple highlights at third that if you put him next to that play, you'd say, oh my God. And then the Yankees had IKF play third, who very versatile, athletic player. But watching different third basemen's arm strength, I mean, Matt Chapman, dude, if he keeps these numbers up, you're looking at a 6 WAR season, that little 1-year opt-out contract he signed. He starts looking more like a third base Marcus Semien trajectory. We'll see. Some fun baseball out in the Bay. Trev, man, we're deep in it. We always are.
We can crank through some of these real quick and get to the American League, okay?
Yeah, I mean the American League's not too juicy, so that's where I don't want to leave too much behind. Like Braves Cubs are 2 big teams. Again, like you kind of said, the Braves, we talked before we started recording, and it was like, man, Fried complete game. They shut him out on the final game too. Again, if they don't put up an 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position, we're probably talking about a sweep that maybe Cubs fans are happy they walked away with 1 in this one, the way they played. But Cubs have been really good, and they got beat by the Braves. We're waiting for them to kick into full gear.
So I think, this is something to look at if you're the Cubs. I mean, I think this is a very good roster, but the offense hadn't showed up in May. 29th in batting average in May so far, 25th in slugging at 363 in May, and then with runners in scoring position. This is what makes or breaks your month or your season is what are you doing when you get the runners on? You mentioned that for whatever the heck it was, but you're hitting 178 with runners in scoring position in May. That's got to be the most frustrating thing, obviously for the team, but for a fan base. When you're watching these games, you're like, okay, here we go. And nothing. 259 slug with runners in scoring position. I guess that doesn't even matter. To me, runners in scoring position, what are you hitting? What's your batting average? 178, last in the show. What's their record in May?
I think they've been shut out 5 out of the past 25 games. So that's, goose eggs on the board.
And you're still sitting 27 and 24. Record in May is, I'm getting it up right now, 9 and 12. I mean, that's why people
like a big week for them coming up. If you can win a couple ball games, make it a 500 month, wash your hands and move on. If you struggle the next week, it's a bad May. Following up on that, I wonder, I didn't want to do a lot of Central this episode because I feel like we've been doing a lot of Central.
We've been doing it.
And I don't know how much that moves the needle, if I'm being honest, but I want to see what have the Brewers technically been at this month. They're 10-10 in May. So the two top dogs in the NL Central have slowed down pretty significantly, which has kept, I don't want to say in the mix, but I love that you got Cardinals fans barking at you because wild card, which seems unreal, they are very much, I think they're now a game and a half back or 2 back in the wild card. They sweep the Baby O's. Hey, snaps for them. The O's hadn't had that happen in a long time. And I don't know, I think St. Louis 8-2 in their last 10. This is a team that's been begging for anything like this, and they've got it for now.
Yeah, the offense has been getting it going. I think that was the biggest thing is we need some guys to step up. They've been able to do that. Good pitching during this series, as you mentioned. Aren't you going to talk about this later?
I'm going to talk about this a little more later, yeah.
Okay. Well,
but
hey, man.
If we went through it now without, people would have been a little sad.
Sure. Mason Wynn, you're the real deal. That's kind of like my biggest takeaway when I watch the Cardinals play. I love watching him play defense. Offensively, he's been there as well. And Sonny Gray, stud. Absolute stud. Like, what the heck is going on? I guess he's kind of always been that way.
He's always been
just like one bad season in New York, and everyone was
his
like,
worst 3 months were in New York City, and everyone's like, Sonny Gray.
Yeah, he's like,
and I think being short hurts him. If I'm being real,
he's not a city slicker, bro. All right. Vandy boy. Everyone knows that. Twins, figure out who you are. We got a hit. Buck hitting 2 homers is really nice. But both these teams, I mean, the offenses came in kind of struggling. They were both, I think the Twins had a 7-game losing streak. The Nats had a 5-game losing streak coming into the series. First game, they absolutely pounded the Twins pitching. And then after that, they figured it out. Woods Richardson has been really good. Joe Ryan was really good. He had some weird, winking stuff going on. Yeah, I was like, what are you doing out there?
Okay.
And he said that Nolan Ryan says you got to be a little crazy out there. I don't throw as hard as Nolan Ryan, so I'm playing it up a little bit. I said, okay, dude.
Wow.
Okay. You're hot. You only get away with this stuff because you're hot.
Lucky because you're hot. Hey, no, it's a good way to get fans to like you. When you're traded over the team, go 31 for 74, a 419 batting average, a 449 on base, a 962 OPS. Because that's what Luis Arraez has done to top the lineup. It's a little bit right now, good team, bad team. Some of these Reds numbers are disgusting. And we saw David Bell get hot because they've been losing a bunch of players to hit by pitches. Jake Fraley was the one in this one, but the Padres are feeling good. They added a significant piece to the top of their lineup. Matt Waldron is punching people. What would we be saying if they didn't win this game in extra innings? But and the Reds, they've lost 17 of their last 21.
Yeah, it hasn't been good there at all. For the Padres, I want to kind of go on them. Bogarts I don't know if he's out for the season, but for the majority of the season. Did they say he's out for the season?
I think they said they hope he can be back by the end of the summer, but he will be out an extended period for sure.
So now they have the decision to make because we know like they're a team full of shortstops essentially. For the first few games, Arraez went and played second base. I think last night Cronenworth was at second base. Arraez did play some first base with the Twins, so like maybe that's something they figure out. Because I really believe they want to leave the DH spot open. I think teams want to leave their DH spot open as much as possible just to rotate guys through. So like if Cronenworth goes to second base, maybe he's a better defender and Arraez can play first base. Maybe that's how they go. I mentioned like, do they bring Profar in from the outfield? You probably just like leave him alone and let him do what he's doing, right? Like don't change things up. I mean, you could take Jackson Merrill, Tatis, or Profar and put him at second base. They would all do fine there. But leave those guys out there. Maybe that means Tyler Wade gets a shot or, we'll see how that goes. But that's definitely an issue, and they'll have to address it going forward. I don't think they want Arraez playing out there every single day. Just defensively, it's no bueno.
Padres, they've struggled versus lefties a little bit. Interested to see that coming up in their next series against the New York Yankees. So that should be a fun one over the weekend if you're looking for something to tune into. And yeah, my Reds, hey, you can point to a lot of things, a lot of injuries, but you either need those guys to come back or you got to start to go at some point because you're entering a very dangerous territory.
Yes.
You've been in a very dangerous territory. Trev, I think the last NL one that we really have to hit, Dodgers.
It's the only NL one left. Oh no, we didn't do Dodgers or
no, not really.
No.
And hey, my Snakes, let's go. Snaps. I love them rolling 2 openers out against the Dodgers. I think, especially if their bottom of their lineup is struggling, you're almost doubling down on that. Like, hey, those 3 bad men. Ooh, should that be a shirt? 3 wise men, 3 bad men at the top of their lineup. Make the game as hellish for them as possible. Because if you can do that, you put even more pressure on the bottom of the lineup, which now this is like the 2nd or 3rd time this year that we've seen them almost be the Dodgers' Achilles heel. And credit to my Snakes for Ketel has just been balling out for a while. We've talked about Jock last episode.
And here, I want to stop you real quick because we came across this also. Ketel Marte, 21-game hit streak. His average has dropped.
Yeah.
Like 20 points during it. He's only getting 1 hit a game. Same thing with Corbin Carroll. You can say, Corbin Carroll has 5-game hitting streak. Here we go. He's hitting 217 in that 5-game hit streak. Like it's like we need a little bit more. I mean, Corbin Carroll, I think, is maybe the key to the Diamondback season, right? Like if he doesn't figure it out and can't come around, and Rose has mentioned, like, is he injured? Like, is his shoulder messed up? Like, if he doesn't figure it out, it's going to be tough for him. He's got a 557 OPS right now, Jake.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are assuming injury, and maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe baseball's just sick, and if he does kick, because Ketel's been awesome this year. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Yoshinobu. Yeah, I'm kind of good. Brewers lost.
I'm going to talk more about some of the Brew stuff. The last game was pretty awesome. It was Peralta versus Luzardo, and I think Jazz hit a leadoff homer, and that was the only run of the game. And the guy pitching Peralta went 7, Luzardo goes 8. Like, here we go. Josh Bell, nice walk-off single. They're celebrating like they won a lot of games. They're still very much not in contention. But Josh Bell's like, hey, if I keep playing like this, maybe
I'll find myself somewhere. We're about to find ourselves in the American League. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. What's something that you need to get off your chest? We all carry around different stressors, big and small. When we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch anytime. No additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. There's a link in the description. In the American League, we start off, obviously, with the New York Yankees because they take 2.5 from the Seattle Mariners. They win the first game, but they lose it. Clay Holmes blows the save. 2 infield choppers. Mariners fans, I'm busting your balls. We split 4. The Mariners were the Mariners. Man, they can pitch. Brian Wu comes back. Limited pitch count looks good. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. It's starting to look special. Judge has been going nuts. I think he's having the best 17-game streak of his career right now. Reminder, that guy broke the AL home run record. Volpe looks good. Luis Gil. 2 good American League teams. I like that. Might be one good American League team in this one. Will never be Royals. That's what the Tigers are saying because they got swept. And the Royals did it on both sides. They scored 8 runs in all 3 games. Bobby Witt Jr., you're going to hear more about him coming up. Cole Ragans.
Who? Cole Ragans?
Cole Ragans.
Oh, I know Cole.
6 innings, 1 hit, 12 Ks. Freddie Fermin. Jesus was a carpenter, but it wasn't enough. Tigers get swept. They're starting to slide a little bit, and the Royals are starting to look
mid-carpenter.
Impressive.
Mid.
The Boston Red Sox. They sweep the Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa. Place that's been a little bit of a house of horrors for them. Got to be careful when you say that. Red Sox swept the Rays at the Trop, first time since 2019. They've been 2-15 since 2022. Rafael Devers, he just kept hitting homers. Good game plan by him. Tanner Houck, 7 innings shut. Bayout, Cooper Criswell, redemption series. I don't know, Sox. You guys have been impressing more than a lot of other teams, and the Rays, you have been not, although you're eerily close in the standings. So that's baseball. Halos take 2 out of 3 from Houston. The one game Houston wins, Kyle Tucker hits 2 homers and Pena walks him off, which he's got a lot of those in his short history. But the Angels, Shanuel, Logan O'Hoppe pisses on a ball.
Shauna.
I bet. Tyler Alexander, 8 innings, 1 earned run. Kyron Paris, he's a top 100 prospect, sure. Astros blew a 6-1 lead in that first game. We keep thinking it's happening, and then it doesn't. The team it's been happening for all year, your Cleveland Guard Dogs. They sweep the Metropolitans. Jose Ramirez, sure. David Fry hasn't stopped. I know Chris Rose keeps thinking he will. Your guy, Ben Lively. My guy, Jose Ramirez. This is kind of a Jose Ramirez shirt I'm wearing right now. Good team beats bad team. Okay. Blue Jays, they take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Good for them. They somewhat handle their business. They get Garrett Crochet, who, man, he's put up a couple big performances this year. Eloy gets hurt again. Chris Bassett shoves. You'll hear him on the Chris Rose rotation. And the series everyone's talking about. 2 extra inning games. 10-9 in the 11th. As the Oakland A's take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies. My God. Ryan Feltner looks talented. Austin Gomber shoved. You know, Ryan McMahon, Max Schumann. I don't know. But that's what happened in the American League.
Hey, Mason Miller gave up a run. First time since March.
Okay.
And it was on an infield hit.
A's fans, you're not going to like this. I think Mason Miller's gross. I think there's not another shoe that's going to drop to him, but he's not going to remain invincible. Like, I think maybe he will. Maybe I'm wrong. There's a person in our office that has said Mason Miller might be the best pitcher to ever touch the field, and I just want to see a little more. I just want to see a little more.
I think it's fair to. I mean, I don't know if it's fair to say. Have you watched at all? He makes people look stupid. It's pretty scary.
Pretty good.
Would you like to face that?
Literally, no. Literally, no.
Do you want the standings by chance, Bob?
I need him. I need him.
In the American League, we're going to start in the East because that's what we do on a Friday. The New York Yankees. That's why you got that freaking chest hair popping out like you do, because you're confident like the Yanks are. 35-17. Baltimore, 3 games behind. They're at 30-18. Those Red Sox, they're sweeping 26-24. Tampa Bay Rays got swept 25-26. And Toronto, 23-26. In the Central, the Guardians, I don't get it. I don't know. I feel like they always hit with runners. Beavers, can you look at what they hit with runners in scoring position, please? Because I feel like they always get the big hit. 33-17. The Royals, 1.5 behind them, 32-19. Let me repeat that for the people. The Royals, 32-19. My Twins, 26-23. The Tigers, Jack Flaherty's Tigers. Yeah. Jesus's Tigers, 23-27. And the White Sox, 15-36. Out west, Seattle still in first place, 27-24. They're the only team above 500 in that whole division. Texas, 24-27. Houston, 22-28. Oakland, 21-31. And the Angels bringing up the rear at 20-30. Beavers, hit me.
Doing one sort.
I got a quick one to give Beeb some time. Currently 13 teams above 500. That includes the Padres, 1 game above.
Okay.
Crazy.
Where we dropping, Pop?
Pop, lock, and drop it. Great
Give
standings.
us the Yankees-Seattle series. Let's go.
I mean, man, it's one of those things where, again, we can't talk about every team every episode. Like, the Seattle Mariners can pitch a lot. It's almost every dude who's starting the game is scary.
Get to what you want to say. Pete Alonso to the Mariners. Let's go. I
mean, they could use that.
Yes.
Although impressive Ty France at bat to help win them game 1. No, I think Mariners fans will be, dude. The Mariners team. I forget if it was Guerin or who, but they were like, we think we have a World Series staff. We need to hit more. Yeah,
they've been saying that.
Yeah, like no lies detected. Meanwhile, with the Yankees, they're starting pitching. I think 15 straight starts with like 2 runs or less. They've done a historic starting pitching with Judge and Soto. So that's what Yankee fans are higher than ever. Whether they're getting contributions from someone else, whether it's Volpe, Verdugo, Rizzo, Stanton hit one to a very rare area. And Trev, go look at his numbers. They're better than you think.
Okay.
That the Yankees are built for it. It's going to be interesting to see where they are at the end of the season. Seattle, they look good. Their pitching can be special. They need more hitting.
Julio Rodriguez.
Yes.
My goodness, dude. What is happening? He has 7 extra base hits on the year, 5 doubles, 2 homers. He's got 12 walks to 62 strikeouts. Pop, his on base percentage is almost higher than his slug. He's got 306 on base to a 312 slug. That in itself, right there, is the biggest problem the Mariners have. Like, you can talk about, hey, yeah, they need more hitting besides him, but like the guy that's supposed to be your MVP, the caliber player, is doing this. And I'm sure Mariners fans are sick of hearing about it. But like, we talked about Corbin Carroll needs to go, and he needs to go for sure. But like Julio, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's like a bad season.
We did some of this before the year, but his rookie year he had a bad April, but after that he was good. Last year, Julio was like below league average till July. And then he went nuts. And then he ends up with 6.5 WAR. Seattle, yeah, that's got to be. They slid him down the lineup for the first time, so we'll see there. But they need him to be an MVP caliber player, and I think they would really benefit because that's going to happen at some point. I just don't know when. I would love for them to get a lefty masher to pair up with him, like even if it was a guy like Jock, but they didn't get him.
Babes?
Cleveland has the highest OPS with runners in scoring position as a team, the highest WRC plus as a team, the second highest batting average behind your Kansas City Royals. They're probably, you would say, the best runners in scoring position offense.
Seems that way. The eye test also backs it up. T-Plus eye test also backs that up.
Well,
every freaking time somebody's on base.
Second lowest strikeout rate with runners in scoring position. They're walking a good amount, not really a top 10 walking team with runners in scoring position.
Well, let's double down, Trev, because these are two teams we've been talking about a chunk. Royal sweep and the Guard Dog sweep. Both at home, both against teams that are kind of heading the wrong direction in the Tigers and the Mets. But, dude, the Royals are starting to have special, like when you look at a lot of their, you see a Cole Reagan start, you're like, ooh, it's got a chance to be double-digit strikeouts, tough day at the office. Bobby Witt is putting together an MVP campaign. For Cleveland, it's not as clear because they just win.
Well, their bullpen has been been incredible. So, like, for instance, in the first game, I don't think they had a hit after the fourth inning, but it doesn't matter. Like,
right.
Their bullpen has been that good. So I think that's the biggest thing for Cleveland. I'll go with Cleveland. Maybe you talk about Kansas City. For Cleveland, it's timely hitting. They can play defense, and their starting pitchers have given them enough. Bullpen's been great. And that's it. I mean, that is the recipe. A couple guys, I don't want to say overperforming, but guys like you're talking about, David Fry. Like, when you get contributions like that, and then you add in all these things, like I'm talking about with the timely hitting and the bullpen, it's how you stack wins. It's how you win series, man, and it's how you are able to sustain those ways when you lose a guy like Shane Bieber. It's like, okay, well, that's great, but I mean, like, you can say, like, is that sustainable? Like, is the bullpen going to be this good all year? Are you going to be able to hit with runners in scoring position and lead the league in OPS and all these things all year long? Like, maybe, I don't know. Like, maybe they have a bunch of dogs in there, and this is what they focus on. And Steven freaking Vogt has him playing like crazy, and he's saying wild stuff like Austin Hedges is the heart and soul of the team. I love it. Like, what they have going on there is, if you're a Guardians fan, it's amazing.
So I'll do some Royals love quick. They get to Scooble, broke up a 14-game unbeaten streak. So that's a nice notch in the belt to have for your team. Bobby Witt, I'm going to talk about more in a second. Michael Garcia, 4 hits and a 9-game hit streak at one point. Like, they've got the good juice, man. I mean, Chris Stratton, 4-out save out of the bullpen.
Guardians lead the league in bullpen ERA. They lead the league in bullpen whip. They lead the league in bullpen average against. It's kind of how you do it. I wonder how many innings.
I've got one.
And they are 12th in innings pitched, but it's all kind of close together there.
That's where you want to be. You mentioned Vogt and Hedges, another dumb Yankee thing that I want to plug you into and maybe the people. Luis Gil, the young pitcher for them, has gone insane.
Yeah, and he's nasty.
And it's also correlated if you like dumb baseball stuff. And I'm 2% of this because it ties into my catcher theory. His hot streak has lined up with him working with Jose Trevino, the veteran catcher, instead of Austin Wells. So, again, if you like dumb baseball things and a catcher driving the bus or bringing in the wild horse, that's been happening a little bit, and it's been really cool to
like
see.
that.
Yeah,
I like
right?
that. Okay.
Trev, I think the only other thing in the AL that really has to be hit, the Sox sweep Tampa, and we just keep doing Reds. If you took away some of the jerseys and expectations, the Red Sox have had a lot of series where you're like, damn, dude, like Tanner Houck, Devers fully kicked into gear. They sweep the Rays at the Trop, which has been a bad place for them.
Yeah, it's been really bad. I believe before this series they were 5-22 going back to 2021 at the Trop. Look, they're 8th in OPS. Match that along with their starting pitching. Like this is a team that's going to be in the mix the entire season long, and they've dealt with injuries, man. Like so, like you kind of have to give it up to them. And I think about this from a Red Sox fan's perspective. The pitching has been so good, right? Your starting pitching, which was, you bring in Andrew Bailey, he's doing all these things, snaps for him, but you also gave away Chris Sale.
Yeah.
And it's like, what could have been if he was back, or maybe he needed a change of scenery. I don't know what it was. But yeah, they are running hot, man. And what kind of moves can you expect them to make? Right? Like, are they going to be in the discussion for bringing in a bat, or are they going to be in the discussion for bringing in like a shortstop? Like, is Bo Bichette going to go there?
Ooh.
We didn't even talk about that whole thing. They started the talk. I doubt he goes there. I don't think that's what they need right now. And Bo, although he's been hitting well since May 8th, I have him at a 1 dot since May 8th. I don't know if he fits there, but anyways, you'll allow Cedar Rafael to go back out to center field. I think that'd be nice. But you have guys like that. Will Middlebrooks is calling for Wilyer Abreu. First of all, shout out Will Middlebrooks.
Right.
I have tuned into a few games now just because he's calling them. He does a good job.
Okay.
And we're Instagram friends, and him and I both have hot wives, so we're kind of like the same person if you think about it.
You could connect a lot of dots between.
We had podcasts. We called games. I'm more handsome than him. It's not that big of a deal. But he's on the Wilyer Abreu Rookie of the Year train. He needs to be in the discussion, and I will say I went first couple times I laid eyes on that kid. I said, this guy's got something special, man. So shout out to them, and yeah, shout out to the Red Sox.
Red Sox, they have a couple, if you're a run differential guy, they're better than a lot of teams in run differential, which technically has them like unlucky this year in some baseball stats. They also have a losing record at home, which was surprising. 10-13 at Fenway. So again, you could spin a lot of these things negative or positive. Their record against teams better than 500 is awful. They're 7-15. But in a year that this is nuts.
Okay.
How many teams this year do you think have a winning record against teams better than 500?
How many teams have a winning record against teams with a winning record above 500?
How many teams have a winning record against teams who are better than 500?
You said only 13 teams are above 500.
Oh, context clues.
I am going to say 6.
6, Trev. Look at you.
I know ball. Guys.
And by the way,
me and Will Middlebrooks know ball.
The Dodgers are 9-8 against teams with a record over 500. So if they were to drop their next one, they would be 5. Again, some assumptions there. The San Diego Padres are 14-10 against the good teams.
Okay.
The Yankees are 10-7. The Guards are 14-7. Philadelphia Phillies 4-2.
4-2. That's crazy.
And the Baltimore Orioles are 16-6. Wow.
The Guardians also have 17 wins from their bullpen. So love that for them.
Wow.
Me and Will Middlebrooks also played for the Rangers and the Phillies. Like, what's going on here?
Right.
Simulation type stuff. Okay.
I am over it. Hey, Toronto, we're not talking much about your White Sox 2 out of 3 because the bigger conversation is Bo and Vladdy in trade offers, and I think we're going to have time to talk about that. And, I mean, that Rockies athletics here. I mean, Tovar's 2-homer game. Ryan Feltner's high fastball. The walk-off walk. No. Let's go on to the second half of the show. Sorry, Trev. I'm sorry. But the second half of the show is brought to you by Mando.
Yeah. I'm wearing Mando right now.
Mando has been my, if I've got to do something after work, it's my work deodorant. I got it in my little locker over here. Throw it on. And this is them asking, do you hate foul balls?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Because that's where Mando has kind of brought this thing. It's whole body deodorant. Put a little in your pits, maybe near your biscuits, maybe a swipe across the chest if you got some man boobs. Anywhere.
What?
Keep yourself smelling fresh with Mando, and they have the discount code for you. New customers get $5 off their starter pack with our exclusive code, Talkin. That's 40% off the starter pack. Use code Talkin at shopmando.com. Shopmando, MANDO.com. Link in the description. Go pick up what they're putting down. Which brings us...
reapplied.
You just re-upped your Mando.
I needed it. I was stinking. I needed my Mando.
Trev, this brings us to standout performances. Who stood out this week? Brought to you by Mando.
I have so many people I want to shout out here, but I'm going with one, and it's a left-handed pitcher by the name of Tyler Anderson. And I'm not just going with his start against the Astros because he's actually been in Texas for his last 2 starts. So I'm calling it the Texas two-step. Can you show me a two-step real quick, Jake? I don't know how to two-step.
I was bad. It's bad.
He went up against the Rangers at Arlington and then went up against Houston at Houston for the Texas two-step. 15 innings pitched in those 2 games, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks. Let me repeat that. Against the Astros, against the Rangers, back-to-back starts, 15 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks. He's having a hell of a season. On the season and on a whole, he has 2.8 WAR already, according to Baseball Reference, a 2.52 ERA in 10 games started, a 1.057 WHIP, and this is all, which I like, not a strikeout guy. 64 to third innings pitched, 44 strikeouts. But he's limiting hits. Doesn't give any hits. Well, shout out Angels defense, I guess, behind him as well. But guy's a stud, man. And he got that payday after. Was he with the? He was with the Dodgers for that 1 year, right? Is that what it was? And then got paid. And people were wondering, is this good for the Angels? Hell of a start to the year this year. Yeah,
I mean, depending where I think a lot of people think the Halo season could be going, could be an interesting deadline guy.
Oh, he's cheap.
Yeah.
3 for 39. So you're talking about 13 a year. That's good math.
That was great math.
Yeah.
39, not a number you divide.
Not a great year last year. 5.43 ERA through 25 games started. But he's turned it around this year.
Sometimes that's baseball, Trev.
It is.
Trev, I'm going to give mine to probably the favorite for AL MVP right now.
Oh, okay. Hold on. AL MVP?
American League MVP.
I know you're not going to Yankee. You would not do that.
No.
You're smart enough to not do that. Sal Perez.
His teammate.
Oh.
Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr., how's your 3.5 WAR early on this season? He's a shortstop who can pick the position, which that's rare, as Mr. Clean with Hair. Shout out Wheezy. Bobby Witt Jr., top prospect, and he's been good, right? Like, man, this guy, he's got wheels. We've seen the pop. The second half last year, Trev, and when we do the TPPs, it's, look at this, and what's going to happen here? Bobby Witt Jr., the light bulb felt like it went off. You know when it went off? When he hit that walk-off homer. Was that off Duran?
Oh.
Who was that off of? He got to an inside fastball.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a walk-up grand slam.
It was gross. And
the little girl was there to watch him.
That reaction from the stands. I could find the stats from that day. But in the second half last year, Bobby Witt went 301, 343, and 906 OPS. Yeah, it was off of Duran. A ball inside, and he got to it. He went nuts in the second half. It looked like the light bulb went off, all of it. This year, he's kind of running that back. He's got a 915 OPS, 16 stolen bases, 7 home runs, 6 triples. Like, triples are really good. Triples are best. Like Bobby Witt, I could see the Yankees guys splitting votes, like Soto, Judge. Right now in the West, they're not giving us an MVP candidate, really.
Gunnar Henderson is the only other one.
Gunnar, sure. But, if Jose Ramirez is going to just finish top 5, I don't know. I saw our guy Shelfie posted a short that was, if there was an MLB redraft today, Bobby Witt Jr. would be his 1-1 pick, and
that's ridiculous, by the way.
Okay. Well,
Shohei
Shohei
Ohtani. It's like we can't just exclude Shohei from every single conversation. Like, I think Bobby Witt deserves to be in the conversation, but it's Shohei, and then I guess everybody else.
There's an age thing to be played. Bobby Witt's 23.
I don't care. What are you drafting for 15 years down
I'm putting
the
together
road,
a dynasty, bro.
Oh my god. Then you go with Shohei Ohtani. I'm sorry. It's not like don't take this as I'm saying Bobby Witt isn't a good fucking player.
That's how we're taking it. That's how everyone's taking it.
I love Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Him and I talk on Instagram. Okay. Do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sal Perez, by the way, 401 OBP, 952 OPS, 9 homers, 39 runs driven in. He, to me, is the reason the Royals are doing what they're doing. I'm just saying. If it wasn't for Sal.
Bobby Witt, 154K follows. Okay, Bobby. I just followed. Let's see if he does the follow back.
You weren't even following Bobby Witt Jr.?
I thought he'd follow me first.
That was one of those things.
Yeah. I was just waiting for him. I didn't want to come off too far. Trev, Bobby Witt Jr., I didn't even mention his day. 2 homers, 6 RBI, stolen base. Could have gone Arraez for 2 games. Dylan Moore had a 2-homer day. Your guy Buck Daddy, Bo knows. There's a ton of pitchers.
Max Fried, Luzardo, Kyle Ragans.
Hi, Cole Ragans. Have you seen this new Royals pitcher, Cole Ragans?
Oh, you know Cole?
He kind of reminds me of a left-handed Jacob deGrom. What is that?
What is what?
Just the conversation in the Midwest to South right now? Trev,
Cole Ragans is a hot boy name. That's what it is.
This is the list you want to be on.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
I'd have been off the Fuego, if I'm being honest with the people.
Really?
Who have seen me light up something that was like a baseball bat on this program.
Interesting.
Kind of off of it.
Okay.
Health is wealth. Yes, this is a list you want to be on. To start out for the series, we're talking about Luis Arraez again. That guy, 10 for 14 in the 3 games against Cincinnati, a double, a homer, 3 runs driven in. He becomes the 5th Padre ever to have consecutive games with 4+ hits in the first since who? John Jay.
Wow.
In 2016, Arraez has 31 hits in his first 17 games with his new team. It's the most of any player in his first 17 games in franchise history.
Wow.
Bobby Witt, you just talked about him. He went 6 for 12 in the series, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 8 ribbies. He's a stud. How about JT Realmuto? Another hot boy. Cole Ragans or JT Realmuto? I don't know, man. Is Cole Reagan's hot?
It's a good question. I mean, I think
You look that up. I'll talk about the stats.
Yeah.
5 for 12 for JT, 2 homers, 4 runs driven in. He extended his hitting streak to a career high 13 games. Okay, JT. I had JT on my hot boy list, and people were not feeling it. I said, you just have to be around him. Sometimes it's an aura.
I'm a big JT is hot.
It's an aura. The catcher, he's taking command. That's what ladies want. Come on. Like I know. I've been out of the game so long.
This is what
years.
women like.
Let me tell you what women want.
All right, fellas, this is what a woman wants.
Met your wife when you guys were what? Young 20s?
She was 19, I was 21.
This is what women like.
I still don't know what she likes. I'm like, oh man.
No
I
idea.
try my hardest, and I think maybe that's what she likes.
Yeah.
For the week,
Try your hardest
David
and act
Fry.
ask nicely.
I'm a good husband, people. I really
Okay.
am. For the week, David Fry. Why did he only go 7 for 11? How many walks did this guy have?
I think they don't even
2 homers,
play him.
6 runs driven in, 4 walks, 2 hit by pitches. That's what it was. He had 6 non-plate appearances, or non-at-bats, excuse me. Out of 277 players with 100 plate appearances this season, David Fry has the highest OPS in the big leagues. He's tied for the highest weighted runs created plus with Shohei freaking Ohtani. David Fry. Put some respect on his name, C. Rose. I can't believe it. How about Dylan Moore of the Seattle Mariners? Hey, Julio who? Dylan went 9 for 21, 4 doubles, 3 homers, 6 runs driven in for the 1.619 OPS. How about Jesus Luzardo, Miami, starting pitcher? Jesus Lizard. We all know this guy. Two games started, 14 innings pitched, 8 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 11 Ks. I get so fired up when I see 0 walks.
Yeah.
It just does something for me, people. And this is a list you want to be on. I'm gonna call an audible here too and add a person because I can't believe we haven't talked about this guy yet. That'll be at the end. First, Kyle Tucker is on the list, 14 for 39. That Abraham Lincoln motherfucker. 4 doubles, 6 homers, 11 runs driven in, 11 runs scored, 15 walks for the 1.4 over the last 2 weeks.
15 walks.
Is he not your 1-1?
He has an argument, but positionally, I really like Bobby Witt.
He's in the first round.
Too tall.
Yeah.
Garrett Crochet, by the way, this guy should be like the best pitcher in baseball. I don't know what goes on with him from time to time. He loses it every once in a while. But if you watch this guy throw, holy shit, he needs to be traded somewhere. 3 games started, 3-0, 17 innings pitched, 10 hits, 0 earned runs, 4 walks, 21 Ks. He's thrown 57 and 2/3 innings this season, and that eclipsed his previous career high, 54 and 1/3 that he threw in 2021. That's because, he's a starter this year.
Yeah.
So that's going to change things. Reliever Taylor Scott from the Houston Astros. He pitched in 6 games. He had 1 hold, 8 and 2/3 innings pitched, only 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk to 11 Ks. Shout out Taylor Scott. That's Tayler, which is an interesting way to spell Taylor, and that might be a typo.
No, that is Taylor
That's
Scott, the only MLB player from South Africa.
Okay, so that's why his name is spelled like that.
Yeah.
I am going to add my dear friend and a person that grew up in the same area. I believe we played high school ball against each other. I was a couple years older than him. Went to Chaminade High. Played for the Blue Jays.
Oh.
Do you not know where I'm going with this?
I thought you were going
Toronto.
I thought you were going
Played
Stanton.
for San Francisco.
I thought you were going Stanton for a second, but now you're going Matt Chapman.
He played for Boston. He played for Colorado. He played for the New York Mets. He played for the LA Dodgers. He played for the Braves. He played for the White Sox. And now he's playing for the Angels.
Is this Pilaf?
Rice Pilaf, Kevin freaking Pillar.
Yeah.
Since he's been traded over to the Angels, these stats are nuts. 14 games, He's hitting 426 with a 460 OBP, a 766 slugging for the 1.226 OPS. 4 homers, 17 runs driven in those games, 239 OPS plus. Kevin Pillar deserves to be on Fuego. Wow.
Pilar
I think
and
he hates me, but I like him.
Pilar and Tommy Pham. I think they'll both end up on probably different teams again and can super contribute or could not. I did see some. I think the Astros and Rays, which in April had horrible bullpens, I think they've been like the top 2 bullpens. And just a little something, I know we're yanking Chris Rose's chain, which, it's in his contract. We have to do that. David Fry this year, Trev, we see guys get hot, and that it is what it is. And hey, maybe we're seeing a David Fry breakout. The walk to strikeouts are there. Like, everything's there. So, I don't know. This is what you need sometimes in a baseball season. He's going nuts.
Love that.
The AL's Ohtani, David Fry. Trev, incredible. And Fuego, the best segment of the show. The worst segment of the show is the IL update. You mentioned Bogarts. That's a significant one. We talked about it. We're interested to see their next moves. Eloy Jimenez ended up back here, man, and I've said that this year. I've said that a lot since we've had this segment. I wonder what the future looks like for him. Emilio and his pagan ways. John Means and John Gray. Bad time to be a John. John Means with the forearm. That's always a little nervous. Estuary Ruiz goes to the IL. Remember, that's how the Brewers got William Contreras. What we like, returning from the IL. It's always been a J.P. Crawford show. He's back for Seattle. Hopefully,
Tri-tip JP.
Hopefully he can give them something at the top of that Mariners lineup. Brandon Lau is back. That's huge. Big drip. Tyler McGill, Joey Weimer, Dansby. Back for your Cubbies. Chris Bryant, former Cubby. Patrick Bailey, Joe Musgrove, Chaz McCormick. Okay. Blake Snell, Pepio. We had a lot of dudes come back. I love the IL segment.
Snaps.
Health is wealth this Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you guys take care about it. Let's start Memorial Day the right way.
Awards!
What do you think Kels is doing this weekend?
Probably watching ball.
Shout out Casey too.
Yeah, always.
Casey, go have a few pops, Case. I'd love to have a couple beers with Casey. We talk pitching.
Ooh.
He'd show me how to get my body right. I'm not feeling great about myself right now.
Okay, I'm not either. Couple beers recently.
I had this neck thing, so I had to take some time off working out.
Know what we might have to do?
Man.
We might have to set up. We interview Boone on Talking Yanks every week. We brought up some of the swing speed stuff, and his hitter side came out.
I like that.
When the boys are talking hitting, I see your eyes light up. He had that same look in his eye.
Me and Boone I think me and Aaron would be like friends.
Couple third basemen.
Definitely.
Yeah, Southern Cowboys.
SoCal third baseman. What's your award, Trev?
Is it me? Let me start off? Okay. I'm going to go with the Little Big League award.
Okay.
And, baseball at the big league level is got to be fundamentally sound. You can't pull any stunts. You just got to go out there and be a good baseball player. You got to beat the best. I talk about it all the time. You think you're good until you get into pro ball. And then you're like, oh my gosh, so many people are good at baseball. And then you start to realize all those people I thought were good at baseball, they're not even good at baseball. As you climb up the minor leagues, you're like, that guy in rookie ball, I thought he was great. He's not. There's certain things he can't do. And just every single level, it just gets that way until you get to the big leagues. And it's like, dude, even the bad players, all the people that you want to slam, so you can't do anything. Those guys are such freaking good baseball players. It would make your mind spin. If you took the person you thought was the worst baseball player in the big leagues, and you went to the park with him, and you guys just did a bunch of baseball shit together, your mind would spin and you'd be like, oh my God, I will never say that about another player again. I really think I wish that could happen to some people. But every once in a while, we see some little league stuff come into the big leagues because it's a lot of season, a lot of games, things happen. That's why I think that's the beauty of baseball is, man, how many times do we say, never seen that before in my life? Like we say that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Not that we haven't seen this before, but Christian Yelich. I don't like when they said he stole home. I guess he technically did steal home. Whenever I think about stealing home, I'm like, did you go on the pitch like Jackie Robinson? That to me is stealing home. But if you watch the Brewers Marlins series, perfect scenario for this. Christian Yelich is on third base. Not even a massive lead over there, but he's got the right-handed hitter in the box. The catcher just kind of flipping the ball back to the pitcher, left-hander on the mound, which means something. And Yelich, before the catcher even releases the ball back to the pitcher, takes off, ends up stealing home. Pitcher tries to barehand it with his left hand, throw it home, doesn't get him out, steals home. That's a beautiful little league play. That's what I'll call a little league play.
It is.
That should never happen
play.
in the big leagues.
Yeah.
That should never, ever happen in the big leagues. Good on Yelich for recognizing that there was some little league shit going on the throwback to the pitcher. He recognized it, took advantage of it. That should never happen in the big leagues. But it does from time to time because that's baseball, Susan. I wanted to talk about some other plays, little league plays that maybe we might start pushing because, like I said, I've talked to some people. The fundamentals are down in baseball. Maybe we can start doing these. I have two that I want to talk about. Maybe you can give me your reaction to it, I guess. Okay. One is another lefty on the mound. We like to pick on lefties if we're being honest. They're a little silly. First and third. Let me see if this is the right one. Yeah. First and third. You have a lefty on the mound, and you are at first base, take the big lead, have the lefty pick over. Ideally, you have a lefty at first base also, so he has to go across his body to throw home. But as soon as the lefty picks up to throw to first base, because this guy at first base has this massive lead, as soon as he picks his leg up to throw to first, you take off to home. And if he doesn't throw to first, you just stop and you go back to third base.
Right.
We don't see that play often, but I think we could see it more if we just try it. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Runners on first and third, lefty on the mound, lefty first baseman. So he's got his glove here. He's got to turn his whole body to throw to first base. Runner gets off on first base. Lefty picks over. As soon as the lefty's leg picks up, runner on third steals home. That's a play.
It's a play.
You might see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one that I came up with. Never ran it. Ran it by our coaching staff. They said they liked it, but I think they were just appeasing me because we never ran it. Kurt Suzuki liked it, though.
Yeah.
Another first and third play. Okay. First and third, right-hander on the mound. Now, this is a defense calling this play now, right? First and third, 3-2 count. And this could be bases loaded. No. Yeah, whatever. First and third or bases loaded, right? Okay. Right-hander on the mound, 3-2 count, 2 outs. So the runners are running, right? Okay. Right-hander, and say the guy at home plate is a guy you don't want to throw this 3-2 pitch to.
Right.
You're like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to throw this pitch to this guy. Like, it's a really good hitter. I gave Miguel Cabrera as the answer. Could be Bobby Witt. Could be David Fry. First and third or bases loaded, 3-2 count, 2 outs. Runners are going. Righty picks up the leg, throws it to the third base, picks off to third base, which I don't know. Can you still do that?
Trev, I've been pushing the pick off to third base agenda so hard.
But not to pick the runoff at third, Jake. So this is more for first and third. Throws it to the base because you have to go to the base. Right. This is how the rule used to be. I don't know if they got rid of this or not because you can't do 3-1 now. But I think if you're throwing to the base, you can still pick off to third base as a right-hander.
I think you still have to throw it there. The inside move to second's out.
Throw to the base at third with the full intention not to pick the runner off, but to go to nab the guy that's going to second base. Because he's going to go on the leg lift.
Right.
Throw it to the third baseman. Then it's just a little bit of rundown. You got to watch the guy at third base, but big leaguers should be able to make that play. All of a sudden, you don't have to throw that vaunted 3-2 pitch to the hitter. Say you're up 2 runs, and you're like, I don't want to give up a 3-run jack right now. Pitcher comes set, lifts his leg, picks to third. I catch the ball at third base, hammer it to second base, either get the guy in a rundown or tag him out. Game over.
Well, and Trev, maybe I can even open you up to slightly more options, because the first option there could be third base. Like, say if you got that guy,
sure,
boom, and then your second option. But I see what you're saying. Like, the runner on first is going to take off first move.
He's going to go because he wants to score. Third base, the runner on third base is like he's just trying to get wide.
Third
so
base coach probably hears you come in. Like, I see what you're saying.
So, like, these are some little league plays that maybe we start to implement at the big league level. I just want to give people something to think about a little bit. And Christian Yelich got the juices flowing. So maybe you'll see these in the big leagues someday. And that's the Little Big League Award.
Trev, kind of wild, but it's what I like. And I know some of the people that watch this show that, dude, the pickoffs to third, like when we saw shifts and guys getting crazy leads off of third. And, dude, the way infielders take creep steps, you can set up a runner off third with a righty pitcher so easily. Like, I'm still waiting for that to happen in a big game, and everyone's like head tilting. Dude, this game, this game we love still has so much to gamify, and I think it's becoming sexier, or at least, and I'm sorry to do this, but our Yankees have been gamifying the game more. They had Jose Trevino throw a pickoff play on a check swing. So everyone's looking at the check swing to first base, and the runner on third, he's looking at it too. It's just a natural reaction. They throw behind him, pick him off. Volpe comes in, leadoff double. They bring in the lefty for Juan Soto. New guy out of the bullpen. Left on left. Juan Soto. First pitch. And you're like, dude, Juan Soto, nobody out. You can't make that out at third. But Volpe has that new age little hop step. He was running. He got it super easy. You now bring the infield in. Soto, chopper through the infield, gets through. It like ended the game. There's so much to gamify about this stupid sport that we can be doing more of.
Love it.
They've also been, when there's been double steals, they're automatically throwing for the back runner because they're reacting. You know?
Yeah. They're not getting the jump.
Tell us what your team does to gamify the game that we need to be looking for. Trev, great award. I saw you put the Little Big League award in there, so I put in the Rally award, which kind of a famous Little League song, which is probably out now, unless the pitcher's name is Sally. But I've got 2 teams that I want to see who's going to rally. The St. Louis Cardinals. 8-2 in their last 10. We know a lot of their names on the jerseys. Marmol got ejected a little bit ago.
Several times.
To try to fire up the troops. And they sweep the Baltimore Birds, who had not been swept, essentially, in the regular season, under this administration, if you will. The Adley administration. You know I'm political.
I like that, yeah.
How do both of these teams react? Orioles, you knew it was going to happen, right? Like, this is baseball. You were going to get swept at some point. You know that. How do they react? Are we going to be talking about in 10 days that the Orioles got hot and figured it out and looked at that sweep as like maybe an exhale? Like, all right, it happened. Let's go out and play Orioles baseball. Or do we see them reel a little bit? In AL East, where the Yankees have been the top dog so far, and, you know, we talked a lot about the Sox, and Rays are going to raise, and blah, blah, blah. Which of these teams is going to rally? I think someone from the NL Central is going to get hot. I've been on that take for whatever reason, and I'm interested to see how the Baby Birds, who I've been crazy high on throughout, I'm not going to bet against them, but, you know, I don't want to say adversity, but let's see. Let's see if it affects them at all. I would bet it doesn't, but it would be interesting to see if it does.
I don't think it affects the Orioles whatsoever. I am happy the Cardinals have gotten it going. Like, they need to. Like, this isn't a team that should be at the bottom of the NL Central. This isn't a team that should be laughed at and trading away all their pieces. Like, especially because they've gotten some, like when they brought in Sonny, Lance, and Gibby, we're all like, okay, what's going on here? Like they're just trying, like these guys are a little older. Like, is this really the way? I think a lot of people wanted Jordan Montgomery there. A lot of people, there was a lot of talks about who they should have brought in. Those guys have been doing just fine. It's been mostly the offense. You're getting Mason Wynn, like I mentioned, to be a contributor. I think the biggest thing for me is like they've done this ever since Contreras has been out. So it's like they rallied around that a little bit. And I think Goldschmidt has finally had enough of it. So I think the Orioles are completely fine, but I'm stoked for the Cardinals. I'm stoked for their fan base. Like, I want them to get going. And I mean, the back end of the bullpen's been pretty dang good, man. They got some guys coming back as well. I believe like Gallegos is coming back, and is there somebody else is coming back? Like they're like set up to kind of go now. And I hope they continue this. I really do. But let's just say truce, right? We speak truce here.
Truths.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say stupid things.
Yeah.
The city connects. Come on.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's it. But other than that, Cardinals, go Cardinals.
Coming into
the Rooster downtown.
Coming into last season, the Cardinals were one of the premier, well-run baseball franchises, or so we thought.
Let me ask you this: that arch,
okay,
that's built by the aliens. Like, what's up with that?
Okay.
They influenced that, like a St. Louis, like just a Midwest city. All of a sudden, gets this futuristic arch.
That's what they should have made a portal. Like they did that whole NYC Dublin portal thing. Make that thing a portal.
Like, let's be real here. Like, that was influenced by the aliens. That's a satellite for an alien race. Like, that is not something you typically look at the rest of the buildings and that skyline. That's Midwest. But then you just have this silver arch.
Right.
The gateway to the West. We're on to you.
It's tough to fade you on that. I will say I think I do miss a time in US history when building something like that was like, yes.
I'm all in on that.
Yes.
Just building
Dude,
stuff.
you go down to like Chicago and there's like this like water fucking station on Michigan Avenue. It's the most beautiful building you've ever seen. It's like, this is just a water building.
Right.
Now they make them just with like cinder blocks and like it's like the most indiscreet things, but they used to build.
Memorial Day.
I'm out.
Everyone...
I almost choked.
Whoa.
Where's that?
I googled Chicago water building.
Yeah, right there, the water tower. Yeah,
this one.
What's up with that?
Oh, that's sick.
What are we doing here?
That's Lord of the Rings, or I don't know. It's a little phallic, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You like to sit on that thing, Jake. Okay.
Everyone, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Build something.
Wow. Watch some ball. Enjoy some good weather. Heard over there?
Whoa.
We love
For
a
free?
flexible king.
I might go play tennis real quick. I got to do another show, though. Got baseball today coming up. That's not that.
Stay loose, people.
Check out my OnlyFeed.
Come on.